Your greatest enemy is not outside, it is inside. Not the critics, not the economy, not the storms of fate. It is the voice in your head that refuses to be silent. The voice that replays every mistake, doubts every step, and suffocates you with what-ifs. Overthinking is the slowest poison. It steals your sleep. It makes you rehearse failures that never arrive. It chains you to imagined futures while the present slips through your fingers. Every night you lie awake, haunted not by reality, but by shadows you created. The Stoics knew this enemy well. They faced death, exile, and war. But the true battlefield was the mind. Marcus Aurelius, emperor of Rome, whispered to himself, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. You don't need another lecture on just relax or stop worrying. You need weapons, mental armor, a philosophy forged in fire. This is where the spiral ends. 7 lessons, 7 laws of clarity, the ancient remedy for the modern disease. It begins now. Your war with overthinking. Lesson 1. Master your perception. The first strike against overthinking is this. You do not see the world as it is. You see it as you interpret it. When your mind spirals, it's not reality attacking you. It's your perception exaggerating, twisting, multiplying threats that don't exist. A delay in someone's reply becomes rejection. A mistake at work becomes career death. A glance from a stranger becomes judgment. Marcus Aurelius understood this trap when he wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but your estimate of it." The Stoic weapon is ruthless clarity. Strip away the story. See only what is. Not, "I ruined everything," but "I made an error. I can correct it." Not, "They hate me," but "They haven't answered yet." The rest is imagination. Perception mastery is not denial, it is discipline. It demands you pause and separate fact from fiction, reality from the anxious theater of your mind. When thoughts spiral, write them down in 2 columns. Column 1, the raw fact. Column 2, the story you've added. 9 times out of 10 you'll see the fear lives in the story, not the fact. Epictetus thundered, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them. The judgments are yours to command. Master perception, and you cut off overthinking at its root. When you rule your perception, no phantom can rule you." Lesson 2. The law of voluntary hardship. Training the mind through discomfort. Overthinking thrives in comfort. In stillness without discipline, the mind invents enemies where none exist. A soft life makes a soft mind, and a soft mind is fertile ground for anxiety. The Stoics knew this well. They sought out discomfort not as masochists, but as warriors training their armor. Seneca practiced sleeping on the floor, though he had wealth. Marcus rose from a warm bed to face freezing mornings of duty. Epictetus, once a slave, lived as though possessions meant nothing, because to depend on them was to hand them your freedom. Why? Because hardship strips away illusion. It silences the inner critic with proof. I can endure this. I am not fragile. When you choose struggle voluntarily, cold showers, fasting, silence, difficult tasks, you reclaim sovereignty over fear. Your mind learns that unease, hunger, loneliness, rejection, they do not kill you. They strengthen you. The anxious mind fears imagined pain, but when you train with real discomfort, the imagined loses its teeth. Overthinking fades, replaced by resilience forged in fire. Once a day, embrace something uncomfortable. Walk in the rain, delay gratification, take the harder path at work. Each act is a rebellion against the tyranny of fear. Marcus Aurelius declared, "If you are distressed by something, make it an opportunity for virtue." Discomfort becomes your teacher, not your enemy. Power statement. When you choose hardship, fear loses its power over you. Lesson 3. The law of action. Courage through deeds, not words. Overthinking is paralysis dressed as thought. You turn the same decision over and over, polishing it with endless what-ifs. But nothing changes. No battle is won in theory. No life is built in hesitation. The Stoics knew that the cure for anxiety is movement. Epictetus said, Don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Meaning, stop speaking, stop circling, and do. The moment you act, you cut through the fog of endless speculation. Courage is not the absence of fear, it is action in spite of it. Marcus Aurelius rose each morning, not because he felt like it, but because Rome demanded it. He wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I rise to do a man's work.' He did not debate it, he moved. And here lies the secret. The body leads the mind. Once you step forward, clarity follows. Once you face the thing you dread, making the call, speaking the truth, confronting the task, the storm inside loses its grip. The critic falls silent when confronted by reality." Practical command. Do one thing today you've been circling endlessly. Don't analyze, don't delay, move. Momentum itself is medicine. Action cuts the knot of overthinking. Words can be doubted, deeds cannot. Lesson 4. The law of facing mortality. Fear dies when you accept death. All overthinking stems from one primal source: fear. Fear of loss, fear of failure, fear of endings. But beneath them all lurks the shadow we refuse to face: death itself. We delay choices because we think time is infinite. We hesitate because we imagine we have tomorrow. But Marcus Aurelius wrote with brutal clarity, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. Mortality is not a distant visitor. It walks beside you every hour, every breath. When you accept this, fear dissolves. The overthinking mind asks, 'What if I fail?' The Stoic mind responds, 'What if I never act and my chance dies with me?' Suddenly the petty anxieties shrink, stripped of their false importance. What does it matter if others judge you, if your time here is already limited? What does it matter if you stumble, when dust will soon cover all victories and defeats alike? To face death is to free yourself. The man who accepts his own end cannot be manipulated by fear. He acts with urgency, clarity, and courage, because he knows delay is the greatest defeat of all. Practical command. Every morning remind yourself, "I will not live forever." Use this truth as fire. Let it burn away hesitation. Let it sharpen every decision. Fear dies when you face death. Mortality is not your enemy, it is your compass. Lesson 5. The law of discipline, building strength through self-mastery. The weak man is ruled by impulse. He eats when desire calls, speaks when anger stirs, collapses when comfort tempts. But the Stoic knows, freedom is not doing whatever you want, it is commanding yourself. Epictetus declared, "No man is free who is not master of himself." Overthinking thrives in the undisciplined mind. It spins, loops, obsesses, because it has no governor, no anchor. Discipline is the chain that binds chaos and turns it into power. Think of a warrior sharpening his blade each day, not because battle is certain, but because weakness is fatal when it comes. Likewise, discipline trains the soul to endure hardship before hardship arrives. Rise early, control your tongue, regulate your thoughts. Train your body to obey and your mind will follow. Without discipline, every obstacle breaks you. With it, you become unshakable. Overthinking fades because your actions are guided by command, not by doubt. When you live by principle, you do not need to debate with yourself endlessly. You act because the rule is already set. Practical command. Start small. Refuse one indulgence today. Set one unbreakable rule for yourself and enforce it as law. Expand until your life is a fortress of self-mastery. Discipline is not punishment, it is liberation. Master yourself and you become untouchable. Lesson 6. The law of purpose, courage through duty and legacy. A man without purpose is a leaf in the wind, tossed, restless, drowning in overthinking. He questions endlessly because nothing anchors him. But the Stoic teaches, when duty calls, hesitation dies. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." The call of duty silences the endless chatter of the mind. It does not ask, "Should I?" It commands, "You must." Overthinking thrives in the vacuum of meaning. You ask, what if I fail? What if I choose wrong? But when you live for something beyond yourself, family, community, principles, the legacy of your own name, fear becomes irrelevant. The man on a mission has no time for paralysis. Picture the Roman general in the freezing dawn, leading men into battle. His body trembles, but his mind is steady, not because he lacks fear, but because his duty is greater than fear. Likewise, when your life is bound to a higher purpose, clarity comes. You do not escape chaos, you transcend it. Define your duty today. What is the mission that outlives you? Write it, live it, bleed for it. Let this purpose burn away the fog of hesitation. When you live for legacy, overthinking dies. Purpose is the sword that cuts through fear. Lesson 7. The law of endurance. Standing firm when all else falls. When the storm has taken everything, when friends vanish, wealth crumbles, and even your body betrays you, what remains? Endurance. The silent power to outlast the chaos. Epictetus declared, "You may fetter my leg, but not even Zeus has power over my will." That is endurance, the unbroken will, the fortress no fire can burn. Overthinking feeds on fragility. You panic at every change, every possible failure, every uncertain tomorrow. But the Stoic answers, stand firm. The man who endures does not ask, will this storm end? He says, let it rage, I will outlast it. Think of Marcus Aurelius watching plague sweep through Rome, armies betray the empire, and his own body rot with sickness. Yet his words remain, if it is endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining. He did not fantasize about escape, he chose to remain unshaken, a wall against the collapse. The next time your mind spins with what ifs, shift the question, can I endure this? If yes, stop overthinking. If no, accept it. Endurance is not glamorous, it is gritty, patient, unyielding. The man who endures finds peace not because life is gentle, but because he has chosen never to bend. All else may fall, but endurance makes you immortal. You've walked through 7 laws of the Stoics: perception, hardship, action, mortality, discipline, purpose, endurance. These are not abstractions, they are weapons, and they demand to be wielded. Ask yourself, how much of your life have you wasted in the prison of overthinking? Nights staring at the ceiling, days replaying conversations, years paralyzed by decisions never made. That is death by 1,000 thoughts. And the Stoics gave us the cure. They did not promise comfort. They promised strength, to see clearly when illusions blind, to suffer voluntarily so pain loses its sting, to act when fear demands hesitation, to stare death in the face and refuse to bow, to master the self until nothing external can rule you, to live for duty, not vanity, to endure when the world collapses. That is the path out of overthinking. That is the path to peace. Not the peace of quiet days, but the unshakable calm of a man who knows nothing can break him. So I leave you with this challenge. Stop thinking. Start living. Subscribe to Timeless Stoic Mind and take your place among those who refuse to be ruled by fear.